Hello! Let's go over how to use the color chart plan and how to use the portions and match it to the list that you are seeing right now on your screen in YouTube. So, this right here is the color chart plan, and this is the best plan that I have had any client go on to lose weight specifically. So, this is the weight loss plan. And this is a great plan to maintain muscle and actually build muscle because it's higher in protein. And it's a very easy plug and play kind of plan. And all you need is a grocery store so you can buy food from. We all have that. And a food scale. So if you do not have a food scale, that is a necessity. You cannot do this meal plan without a food scale, and a food scale is going to be one of the best investments that you'll ever make in helping you lose weight and help you keep track of everything. So looking at the plan, you're going to see that everything is portioned out, right? So if we look at the list right now, you're going to see, for example, chicken breast, it says 6 ounces, right? If you look at fish, it's gonna say 6 ounces of any white fish. So you cannot do 6 ounces and weigh it unless you have a food scale. So get a food scale if you do not have one. Go on Amazon right now and order yourself a food scale. Go to Target, go to Walmart. They have food scales there too, and they're like $10 to $20, very cheap. And it will literally be your best friend in helping you lose weight. Okay, so how do you use this meal plan? So here on the screen right now, this is an example. This is not your meal plan. You are going to get your own portions after you watch this video and reply back with the secret phrase, and then I will send you your portions through email, okay? So this is an example. Again, this is the example. This is not yours. It's an example, and let's go over how to use it. Super cool. So if we take a look, we have meal number 1. We got 1 protein plus 1 carb plus 1 fat. So this means that you're gonna go to the list, right? The color chart list, and you're gonna notice that protein is in blue, fats are in yellow, carbs are in orange, the veggies are green, any veggies good, and there's also a special list that's red, and these are proteins that will count as both 1 protein and 1 fat. So this is how you use the plan. Super easy. So meal number 1, again, 1 protein plus 1 carb plus 1 fat. So all you do is you go to the list, you pick one option from the protein list, then you pick one option from the fat list, then you pick one option from the carb list. That's all you do. So let's say that this is breakfast, okay? And you decide to go with 6 egg whites for your 1 protein. Notice that it's very specific. It says 6 egg whites. It does not say 8, it does not say 10, it does not say 2, it says 6. So you decide to go with egg whites, it's 6 egg whites for 1 protein. Then let's say you decide you wanna have a quarter cup of nuts, right, to go along with it. So maybe you choose almonds. Then you can have a quarter cup of almonds as 1 fat. And then look at your carb list. You notice that it also says 1.5 cup of any type of fruit as 1 carb. So if you want to go with fruit, then you can pick any kind of fruit you want. Go with 1.5 cup of any fruit to count as 1 carb. And that's how you do meal number 1. It's very simple, right? Now you notice too on your plan, there are 2 shakes. Everybody gets 2 shakes because it's very difficult to get protein in. So we're gonna be using shakes. Now, if you do not like shakes, that's okay too. You can replace your shake with another option from the protein list. So that's why you're gonna notice shake number 1, parentheses, says count as 1 protein, right? So if you do not like protein shakes, you do not have to have it. Just replace it with a protein option from the protein list, all right? Now, for protein shakes, I do recommend Premier Protein or Fairlife Protein, the pre-made ones. These are very easy, very accessible. That's the whole goal of this meal plan, is make it as simple as possible, okay? You just have to plug and play. You don't have to think too much. You just gotta find your portions and stick to your portions. It's all you gotta do. Now, Let's go to meal number 2. Meal number 2 says 0.5 protein, which stands for half, right? Half a protein, half a carb, and half a fat. That's what 0.5 means. It means half, okay? For those of you who are not very good at math, there you go, math lesson. So, meal number 2, half a protein plus half a carb plus half a fat plus 1 veggie. So, what this means is that you're gonna go to your list. So, let's say that you decide to go with chicken for your protein, right? We know that 6 ounces counts as 1 protein. So, if meal number 2 says half a protein, that means you divide the 6 ounce in 2, right? Divided by half, which is 3 ounces. So it's be 3 ounces of chicken. And for the carbs, let's say that you decide to go with 1 cup of, you decide to go with brown rice, okay? 1 carb for brown rice is 1 cup cooked. So half a carb would be, you know this, half a cup cooked, okay? And let's say for your fats, you decide to cook your chicken with oil. Now you notice that oil is part of the fats. So if you are currently cooking with oil, you have to understand that counts as your fats, okay? Oil has a lot of calories. So if you're cooking with cooking oil, it's gonna count towards fats. So I recommend using cooking spray if you don't wanna waste your fats. Cooking spray has less calories, it's more controlled, you're not using as much, all right? So half a fat for cooking oil is gonna be 3/4 of a tablespoon because 1.5 tablespoon is 1 fat, so half a fat is gonna be 3/4, okay, of a tablespoon. And then for veggies, you're gonna notice I say any veggies fine, fist size, so you're not going crazy, you're not having like a whole basket of broccoli or asparagus. Moderation is key, okay? So that's meal number 2. Then we go to meal number 3, right after shake number 2. Shake number 2, same thing. Like I said, you can have another shake, or if you do not, you can replace it with a protein, all right? So meal number 3, 1 protein plus 1 fat plus 1 veggie. So let's actually use a option from the red list. So if you notice and read from the red list, you'll say there's a note. It says, if you use a fatty meat, so these are all the fattier proteins like salmon, right? 80-20 ground beef. These are more fattening. Then you're gonna subtract 1 fat portion from that meal or another meal during the day. So let's say for meal number 3, I decide to go with 6 ounces of salmon. Well, that's gonna count as 1 protein and 1 fat. So my 1 protein and 1 fat are gone, and I have 1 veggie left to use, okay? So this is how you use the meal plan. It's very, very simple. It's literally plug and play. And again, I'm gonna stress this, it's very important. Follow the portions. 5 ounces of chicken breast is not 6, okay? 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is not 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. 1 cup of cooked brown rice is 1 cup of cooked brown rice. 2 cups is not 1 cup. So follow the portions accordingly to what the list says. And this is how people got results from this meal plan. This is a very powerful meal plan catered to losing weight. And it's perfect for people so that they don't have to think, right? You don't have to think too much. You have options. So this is superior to regular meal plans. So a regular meal plan would be, for example, dinner. You know, chicken, rice, and broccoli. And that's the meal plan. Chicken, rice, and broccoli. Well, with this, you're able to switch out the chicken for turkey breast. You're able to switch it out for pork, for beef. You could switch out the chicken for steak, right? You can switch out the rice for potatoes. You could switch out the rice for quinoa. You could switch it out for pasta. You could switch out the broccoli for asparagus, for Brussels sprouts. That's why this meal plan works so well, is because you have a lot of options to play around with, okay? And here is actually some of the results from people from the past that they've gotten from this meal plan in just 6 weeks. I know social proof is important, right? Are you ready? Okay, check this out. So here's Ashley. She lost 19 pounds in 6 weeks. Here's Chris, lost 28 pounds in 6 weeks. Here's Erica. She lost 11 pounds in 1 week. Her first week lost 11 pounds. Here's Itzo, she lost 25 pounds. Jessica lost 25 pounds as well in 6 weeks. Here's another Jessica, she lost 26 pounds in 6 weeks. Here's Joey, lost 35 pounds in 6 weeks. Joel lost 29 pounds in 6 weeks. Jordan lost 27 pounds in 6 weeks. Joe here, he lost 22 pounds in 6 weeks. Judith lost 28 pounds in 6 weeks. Lily lost 25. Lorena lost 25. Lewis lost 31. And this is all from 6 weeks. So, before we were big on losing weight fast. However, there is a big con in losing weight fast, and it's that your metabolism will get ruined in the process. The faster you lose weight, the slower your metabolism will get. And on top of losing weight very quickly, you will also lose more muscle, so you will get more flabby. And that's why this program that you signed up for is a long-term program. It's not a short-term program, right? We don't do quick fixes here. So even though I just showed you amazing results that people got in 6 weeks, that is not gonna be our plan. But it's also a good thing because that means that you're gonna be able to have a little bit more food than these people did. Even though this plan is not a feel hungry all the time plan. These people lost a lot of weight even not feeling that hungry because the foods on this list, these are foods that are designed to keep you more full versus having things like cookies and ice cream and french fries. You know, you're not gonna be full of those junk foods. These are wholesome foods that will keep you more satiated. Okay, so now let's go over some very, very common questions that people have always asked me on the plan. Number 1, seasonings, salt, pepper, are these okay? Yes. Anything 0 calories, so you can use Mrs. Dash, you can use salt and pepper, you can use Flavor God. It's all okay. You can flavor your food as much as you want, okay? As long as it's between 0 to 5 calories. So this is the same with dressing, okay? So like salsa, there's like 5 calories per serving, that's okay. But if it's a salsa, like a mango, pineapple salsa thing that has 40 calories per serving, that's not okay. So you do want to read the nutrition labels and make sure it's between 0 to 5 calories per serving. And if it is, then feel free to use it. I'm totally cool with it. So hot sauce, mustard, right? Not honey mustard, the honey mustard has calories, but regular mustard. That's totally fine. So feel free to really add some dressing or spice or seasoning to your foods. Make it tasty. Next, how about timing of your food? So you're gonna notice that your meal plans say meal 1, shake 1, meal 2, shake 2, meal 3. I didn't write breakfast, lunch, and dinner because this meal plan, it's made for anyone. So let's say someone's working graveyard shifts, right? If you're working graveyard, you're gonna wake up at a very odd hour. You can be up at odd hours, right? You're gonna be eating at different times. So I write as meal 1, meal 2, meal 3 because you can decide when to cut it out, guys. Sorry, dogs are playing. They're like crazy right now. So you can decide when to have your foods, okay? So you don't have to have the traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can decide to have your first meal at 11, right? Which is basically lunch. You can have meal 2 around 3, which is like a dinner, I guess. And you can have meal 3 at 9 p.m., right? Which is a late dinner. So it doesn't matter as long as you get in all the food. So that's another question. What if I skipped a meal? If you skipped a meal, I want you to add that into the next meal. So for example, if the meal you skipped was 1 protein, 1 carb, and 1 fat, then you can add that to your next meal so you can have a bigger meal, okay? As long as at the end you don't exceed the number of protein, carbs, and fats I gave you, you are golden. That's all that matters. The order of your meal plan is just what I recommend. You don't have to follow that. So for example, if someone doesn't like to eat 5 times a day, then you can literally combine meal 1 with meal 2. Or you can combine meal 2 with meal 3, so that's basically 4 times a day, right? If you don't want to have shakes, and you'd rather have something from the protein list, then you can do that too. You can take out the shakes and you can add that one protein from shake one to meal one. So perhaps meal one was one protein, one fat, one carb, right? Well, now because you decide to move shake one into meal one, you have two proteins, one carb, one fat. So that's how you do that as well. As long as, like I said, you don't exceed the number of protein, carbs, and fats I give you, you are completely fine. It will still work. Another great question is when people ask me about drinks. So alcohol is now on the plan. As you can tell, it's now on the plan. And what about Diet Pop, right? Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Root Beer. Is that stuff okay? Is a Bang energy drink okay? Because that's 0 calories too. Those are fine. If it's 0 calories, you can have it. Just make sure you have it in moderation. And I do recommend people drink more water than anything else, but it's about fitting things in moderation. And if having a can of diet soda helps you through all of this, that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with it because this right here is a life change and it's hard. Of course it's hard. That's why you're here. You're here to do the hard things so your life can be easy later. So if your life can be a little easier having Diet Pop, go for it. Okay, now you look at the protein list. People always ask me, do I weigh my meat raw or after I cook it? So you're gonna weigh everything raw unless it's stated otherwise. So for example, if you look at 1 cup of cooked brown rice, well, it literally says 1 cup cooked. So you're not weighing it raw, right? It's 1 cup cooked. But if it's things like chicken, salmon, ground beef, right? Pork, tenderloin, steak, then those things you wanna weigh it raw. Don't weigh it after you cook it. That's gonna make a little difference. Make sure you weigh your meats before you cook it. Okay, next question that people ask me is this my plan forever? So no. The plan that you're about to receive is not the plan you're going to be using forever. We will be changing portion sizes as we go. And that's why it's very, very important that you do report it to me every single week so I can see how your progress is going. Now, the times that I don't change anything is if you fell off track. So this means you're not eating all the food, or perhaps you're adding extra meals on top of the meal plan I gave you, which you shouldn't be doing. But if you're doing that, there's no need to change anything because you're not 100% compliant. So the only time that we do change plans is if you have perhaps dropped 20 pounds, then it's time to take a diet break. Perhaps you've been 100% compliant and it's been 2 weeks and there's been no weight loss at all, and that's 100% compliant. Then yes, I'm gonna start changing plans for you. So your plan is not a forever plan. It is a plan that's gonna change perhaps every month, every 2 months, every 2 weeks. It all depends on how your progress is going. How about foods that are not on the meal plan? So this is where I do give a little leeway. Everybody is allowed 5 different things that are not on the meal plan that you can add to the meal plan. So a popular thing is tortillas or coffee creamer, right? So whatever you want, you can message me the nutrition facts and I will send you how much you can use to count as either 1 protein, 1 carb, 1 fat, or half a carb, half a fat. And that way you can fit it into your meal plan. Okay, so you are given 5 opportunities to throw in whatever types of food that you want that is not on the meal plan. But other than that, once you hit 5, stick to the food group that I give you because there's a reason why it's there. It just plain works, as you saw from all the results that I showed you a few minutes ago. So now you understand how to use the color chart plan. I've answered questions that are very common. The secret phrase of this video is, I am ready. So send that to me on Facebook Messenger, okay? The secret phrase, I am ready. And I will email you your portions so you can get started and we can get this weight off. So let's do this.